Hi, welcome to Elementary and Intermediate Algebra, Chapter 3.1. In this video, you need to know what equations with two variables look like, how to graph these equations, and what is slope-intercept form. So, two-variable equations have two expressions set to equal each other. So, for example, x equals 5. So we have two expressions. The first expression is just x, and the second expression is just 5, and then they're set to equal each other. In this case, so it means that um, in this equation, it means that the variable x is equal to 5. However, sometimes equations can have more than one variable. So in this case, we have two expressions, one on the left, one on the right, as usual. The one on the left is one variable called y, and the expression on the right says there's a second variable, x plus 5. So what this means is that the left variable, y, is equal to the other variable, x plus 5. So if we plug in 3 for x, we get that y is equal to 8. And we can put this in ordered pair notation, such as 3, 8. This point is a solution for this equation, because the equation is true at this point. However, there are multiple values of x that will make and y that will make the equation true. So if we plug in 4, we'll get that y is equal to 9. If we plug in 5, we'll get that y is equal to 10. So there's more than one solution to this equation, and all the solutions is called the solution set. If a point doesn't work, or when the equation isn't true at the point, then that point isn't a solution for the equation. And we can continuously plug in different values for x to find new solutions for the equations. We can take all of these solutions and plot them on a graph. So right here I'm going to plot a graph of y is equal to negative 2x plus 6. So the easiest way to plot such an equation like this is just plug in values for x and find various solutions. So let's plug in x at x equals 0. So when x is equal to 0, we get that y is equal to negative 2 times 0 plus 6. So y is equal to 6. So we can look at the point where x is equal to 0, or this line, and we look at y is equal to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's a point right here. So we can plug in. Let's plug in the next one. X is equal to 1. So if x is equal to 1, y is equal to negative 2 times 1, which is negative 2, plus 6, which is equal to 4. So at x equals 1, y is equal to 4. And let's do this again for x equals 2. So this is y equals 4. So at x equals 2, y is equal to negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4, plus 6, which is just 2. So when x is equal to x equals 2, y equals 2. So notice how these solutions are sort of in the shape of a line, and we can connect these. We can connect these points in a line. Sorry, it's not perfect, and every point on this line is a solution for this equation. I'll go more into depth later, and this isn't. And you'll have to realize there are more restrictions than this. But this is just sort of something that you can kind of want to get the hang of, that if you plug in values for it, you'll get sort of a general trend, and then if you connect all these points on the trend to make a line, you'll be able to model the equation and have all the solutions for it. There's like more intricate stuff and more like complicated stuff later, but we're not going to go into depth on that right now. So, lines can be written in slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b, where m and b are constants and x and y are variables. M is the slope of the line, basically how steep the line is. And for every one positive unit change in x, the y value will change by the value of the slope. And if the slope is negative, the y will increase by a negative amount. And for every 1 unit that x decreases by, the y value will decrease by the value of this slope. If the slope is negative, the y value will decrease by a negative amount. I'll go into the depth. There's a different chapter on this later on, and this is just sort of like a summary for slope. I'll go into more depth, so don't worry about it if you don't understand it right now. And B is the y-intercept equation, or where the graph crosses the y-axis. So the y-intercept is 0, comma b. So if you drew the line out, you just look at where the line is crosses the y-axis, and or where the x value is equal to 0, and whatever the y value is, that's the y-intercept. And so it's always the x value for the y-intercept is always 0, and then the y value is just b for slope-intercept form. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from this video.